Hello, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita, and I am joined again by White Sox expert and my season ticket partner, Jason. How you doing today, Jason?
I am doing great, Tony. It was a pretty decent weekend overall, I'd say. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and you're absolutely correct. So today, we're going to talk about the weekend series with those dirty, gross, scummy, dumb Yankees and their just disgusting fan base. As well as why Tim Anderson is the greatest player literally ever in the history of the universe. At the very
all
least,
time.
Arguably, yeah. At the very least, arguably the best offensive player this year. Even honestly, even if you include his defensive stats, he's still like overall, like his WAR and stuff is actually super high. But we'll get into all that. So, all right, Jason, let's kind of do a little weekend recap real quick. So just a quick overview is the White Sox split the 4-game series with the Yankees. They lost on Thursday. It was rained out Friday. They lost Saturday, and then they swept the doubleheader on Sunday, which had that makeup game from Friday. So we did lose the season series 5-3. But in my opinion, and this is going to sound totally not biased in any way, shape, or form, winning those 2 games on Sunday with just everything, again, we'll get into it, but everything that was going on, that felt like we swept them 8-0 this series, or this season. I don't know if you feel the same.
I would say we kind of lost the battle but won the war. I feel like, like we won that weekend overall. And on specifically on Sunday, that was the most fun day of baseball I've had in a long time. We had Cueto on the mound, who, I mean, I'm just over the moon about him right now. I really hope he can keep it up. But I mean, what was it? 3 weeks ago, he was pitching in AAA, maybe a month ago now. But in 6 innings, he had 5 Ks and 0 runs against the New York Yankees. I hate them, but they have a good lineup.
The Bronx Bombers, as Garrett Cole was saying, scoring 1 run over 2 games on a doubleheader. Yeah,
exactly. And then Game 2, Kopech, it was a perfect game through, was it 6 1/3?
I believe so, yeah.
Something like that. Perfect game. He's got the second best ERA in all of baseball right now. 7 innings. He had let up 1 hit. So it's not like he exploded after that perfect game, got rocked. And then 6 Ks and 0 runs. And then on the offensive side of the plate, or behind the plate, whatever you want to say, we had Game 1, AJ Pollock, home run off Chapman. I mean, seemingly out of nowhere. I think that was his 2nd or 3rd of the year, but no one in the stadium was expecting it. I wasn't expecting it. He hushed the fans. I'm indifferent about him, but I definitely like him a little more after that. And then also
the Chapman thing too is that kind of officially put them into a little bit of panic mode with him, because he had a couple rough outings, but like you said, I mean, it's still, Aroldis Chapman is one of those guys. He throws 100,000 miles an hour. Like, he'll bounce back, he'll figure it out. But it was like the 5th straight appearance where I think he gave up an earned run or something like that, where people are starting to be like, it's baseball.
Be losing it.
You never know. Liam Hendricks obviously had rough patches too, but this could be something to worry about, you Yankees fans. Who knows?
Right. I'm sure. I don't know what he's getting paid. I'm sure it's a lot of money. So something to be worried about too. And then also that game, the man we'll talk about a little later, Yasmani Grandal brought in a run for Game 1 after the whole debacle. He stood up for the team and helped us win the next 12 hours later. So that was good to see. And then Game 2, Tim Anderson lit up the Yankees, 3-run blast. I was at a bar. I nearly lost my voice. I mean, when he was walking up, in my head, I thought, I hope he can do it, but I just didn't know if he could. But as soon as that ball left the bat, you saw the catcher throw his face mask on the ground. He knew it was gone. Everyone else knew it was gone. Oh, put a big smile on my face.
Yep, it was reminiscent of the obviously the Field of Dreams game, just sticking it to the Yankees. And of course, again, I know, Yankees fans on Twitter, they've been letting us know they are winning more games. They're winning more quantity of these games. But I don't know, man. We keep embarrassing them. Even though we're getting our butts kind of kicked overall, we are embarrassing them in these big moments. And it's specifically all starts with the man, the myth, the legend, Tim Anderson.
Yeah. And honestly, whenever they try to point out any other fact, they usually end up deleting the tweet once you respond. I've responded to a few Yankees fans on Twitter over the last 48 hours. You tell them one thing, they say it wrong, they delete it. They're like, oh, wait, yeah, I don't know baseball. I'll just go watch my Lakers or my Dallas Cowboys.
Yep, it's a fact. Lakers, I was going to say Lakers fans, same thing. Yankees fans are cowards. They delete a lot of tweets, and even if they don't, they're usually just, they're wrong. Oh, there's one, if you go to my Twitter feed, there was a guy that, I thought he was doing a bit. I guess he's technically from Philly, but he's a Yankees fan and also a Rams fan. It was the perfect embodiment. He was calling me a dildo and, just the perfect Yankees fan.
Like, sick comeback. Are you 12?
Yeah, it was absolutely perfect. We'll move on to our main topic in a second here. As much as I hate the Yankees, I hate their fans and stuff. It is kind of, it's become one of those things where I love to hate them. Like I'm happy that we now have this team, these fans to go at. And I hope they feel the same way, because that's what makes sports fun. If we're really going to be serious about it,
when
and actually hate people over sports.
When it comes down to it, it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope at the end of the day, no one's taking it like, I definitely find myself so heated in the moment. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to kill this guy. But it's like, all right, you're on Twitter, man. Like everyone takes that, but that's fun. And that's what sports should do. And that's what's the best part about having a good team on the north side. It's great to just have a team that I actually care about and feel like I would fight
exactly
for.
And last Yankee series, we met a Yankees fan on the L and we talked to him for like 15 minutes. Probably could have went and got a drink with him. Like, at the end of the day, we're all just cheering for our team.
Absolutely. And he was a Lakers fan. It was hilarious. It was perfect.
He was.
So speaking of fighting for guys or on our team, whatever, to the main topic of the podcast, the middle of the order here, the heart of the lineup. Tim Anderson is literally a king. He's the king of New York, that's for sure. And like I said, I'd fight another human being for his honor. As much as I said, oh, you don't take it that seriously, I'd probably do it.
We'll take it seriously.
I will.
Put me in the bleachers on a Sunday when it's hot. Sixth inning, we'll fight for it.
Absolutely. So, Jason, why don't you give us a little your insight on Tim Anderson this season overall, all that.
How can you not like this guy? He leads from the front. He's not afraid from anything. He doesn't back down. The only people that don't like him are people on the opposing team when they hit home runs like that. He's well respected, all that type of thing. Like we had said, you see people say stuff on Twitter, but at the end of the day, he's well respected. Someone on Twitter said he was just a bad baseball player. And he's currently hitting 359 in the last 3 seasons. He's hit above 300. So I don't know. If you're going to say something, make it be true.
Yeah. And I know people don't care about, or they don't care about batting average. It's all about the sabermetrics and all that stuff, which I got a couple things coming up for you after Jason's done here that are more than
also,
just batting average.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is a whole different podcast. But batting average still matters. I don't care what any of you say. It's about how much you get on base. Obviously not including walks, but how much you can. And I know there's stuff with.
And it's part of Triple Crown.
Yeah, exactly.
So
there's just so much. That's a whole other podcast. But yeah, sorry, keep going.
Anyways. And then also put a little smile on every Sox fan's face. Donaldson went 0 for 4. TA went 3 for 5, 3 RBIs, and a beautiful Oppo home run, like he did in the Field of Dreams game. Silenced every single scummy Yankee fan in that stadium. And shout out to that guy who just recorded him round the bases. We saw him on TV. Biggest smile on his face with nothing but like frowns and crying faces behind him. Made my day.
Yep, absolutely. It was so beautiful. It was like a rainbow during a thunderstorm. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Absolutely. So there was kind of so obviously before I'll get into the stats. So I'm sure you have all heard, if you're a White Sox fan, you've heard, you saw it, whatever. Josh Donaldson. I really don't understand when it was exactly. Maybe Jason. I was doing a lot of traveling this weekend, but it seemed like just at some point after a play was made or he was Tim Anderson was on the base path, Josh Donaldson said like, "Hey, Jackie," as in referencing Jackie Robinson, which then Donaldson went on to claim later in like the post-game press conference that he was referencing from 2019 when Tim Anderson said he views himself as like the modern day Jackie Robinson, which is a cool thing for Tim to say. And I honestly,
in terms of attempting to change the game and trying to move the game forward.
Yeah. And I think, I think he's kind of been the spearhead for like the celebration movement. I know that was a big thing with the Royals a few years ago. Like there are definitely things that he's done that it's not a crazy comparison. And I would hope that if that's truly what Donaldson meant, that he was saying it, he meant it respectfully, because at the end of the day, there's two human beings. You don't want to see anyone disrespect each other. However, it was a very weird situation, and I unfortunately don't think it had necessarily the best intentions. I truly think that it was something meant to I don't know if demean is the right word, but at least kind of like make fun of him, kind of rib him. But that just feels like a weird place to go. I don't think you should ever go. The MLB ended up suspending him for one game. I actually just stole one of Jason's next talking points on that, but he did suspend him for one game, which feels weird because if you're going to suspend him for one game, you're saying he did something wrong, and you're saying, okay, it was bad enough to get a suspension. And we see guys say, they swear at each other, they say whatever, and they don't get suspended. Obviously, that's stuff on the field. But you're acknowledging it's bad, but it's only one game, 1 out of 162 bad. I don't know. That just feels like they were like MLB scramble, like we got to do something, but we don't want to take that much action, and that almost comes off as looking worse. So I don't know. But yeah, so that's that whole situation. And obviously we're TA boys for life. Josh Donaldson has been a clown forever with the Twins, with just everywhere he goes.
He's a walking trash can like the rest of that city's fans.
That's true. He's perfect.
Half the city. I love Mets fans.
Yeah, 75% of the city. If we're probably be honest here. No offense, Mets. We get it. I think it's fair. We respect the Mets, but I think that's the situation. He is perfect for that organization, because that's what 99% of their fans in their stadium are like. That's not true. I'm just completely lashing out. But let's talk about Tim Anderson. Let's talk about the positive stuff and why they are idiots, and honestly why he is could eventually at the end of his career be considered one of these all-time greats. So right now, Tim Anderson's stats amongst all shortstops, so he leads in all of these statistical categories. So obviously batting average, batting 359 in the season. On base percentage, 400, pretty good. Gets on base 4 out of 10 times. Yeah, I'll take it. Slugging, 517. OPS, 917. Fantastic. Just, I love him so much. Weighted runs created plus,
and
one of my
that's
favorites.
That's without a lot of walks. So
yeah, he's swinging the first pitch every time, and he's at a 359, getting on base at a 400 clip. Weighted runs created plus, one of my favorite stats ever invented. I think I understand it. Is a 173. I know 100 is average. Below 100, you're trash. If you're above 100, you're not trash. I believe okay, we're gonna figure this out live. So I believe it's like it goes up to 200, and that's like 100% better than average. I don't know if you can get 200. It might only be like 99% better. So I believe that means he's 70 in the 73rd percentile of runs created. He's 73% above average, something like that. If I'm wrong, let me know. Let me know
something like that. I'm thinking it might be more than 73.
I truly have no idea.
It might be double, whatever.
Yeah, so
23,
you let us know in the comments
50.
If you know. Weighted runs created plus is the hitting stat that every baseball fan should use for analyzing hitting ability. It's all encompassing. Okay.
I think it's like almost 90th percentile.
Yeah, I think so too. And it seems to me that weighted runs created plus weighted runs created plus of 100 is average, greater than 100 is above average, and every point above is a percentage point above the league average. He's 73% better than league average. Boom. That's how I'm leaving that in. That was some good work there, everyone. Thanks for sticking through that. So, and then finally his F-WAR is 2, that's with, I believe F is full. Okay, that's another one. I'm not gonna look that one up. We're just gonna leave that one in. But I saw somewhere that includes his defensive performance, which he struggled. He's had a lot of errors, but the fact that his offense
the league in errors for a hot sec.
His offense has been that amazing that he is better. He has a higher F-WAR. Again, we're going to go with full WAR, which is it's 9th in Major League Baseball. It's higher than Mookie Betts, Juan Soto, Luis Robert. Shout out the soon-to-be American League MVP, unless Tim Anderson wins it, and Byron Buxton. And then his weighted runs created plus is 8th in Major League Baseball. So he was first in shortstops among all those stats, 8th overall in the MLB. And his so his weighted runs created plus is higher than Bryce Harper and Giancarlo Stanton. So
if he doesn't start an all-star game, someone messed up.
Yeah, I'll say it. He's good. I'll say it. He's good at baseball.
He's
arguably the best shortstop in the game, and I think there's a pretty dang good argument too.
Yeah.
I would say it's inarguable. Some people would argue it, but I think they'd be wrong. So that's all I got on the Tim Anderson stats. Jason, you got any Tim Anderson stuff before we kind of clean it up?
I think you covered it. I mean, I could rant for another 20 minutes about him, but I don't want to talk for 45 minutes. So
understandable. Oh, my last thing is Josh Donaldson is going on the COVID IL. He's symptomatic. A real shame. Karma works fast.
Karma.
Yep. So here's the so we're trying to name these segments. I totally did a bad job at this episode, so we'll start doing that next episode. But this is either going to be the bottom of the order, turning the order over, something about the lineup. So we'll work on,
or maybe the Andrew Vaughn topic of the day, since TLR decides to always put him last. So
it may have to be something like that as well. That would be pretty funny. We'll stick around for that. We'll see. We'll work that into it. So my first of the last couple topics here is Johnny Cueto is potentially the greatest pitcher of all time, and should probably win the Cy Young this year.
For sure.
So I know you talked about it obviously a little. His amazing performance. So yeah, he is just this season in his two starts, it's 2-0, which I respect. Actually, no, I don't think he has a decision. Is that true? That can't be true. No, he doesn't have a decision. The White Sox are 2-0. He's 0-0 because well, that's Kendall Graveman's fault for the second one. But that's okay. 12 innings. He's given up 8 hits total, 2 and 6, 4 walks, 12 strikeouts. So a strikeout an inning, pretty good. No home runs, which is always great. Literally a 0 ERA. He's given up 0.
He's been found the fountain of youth.
He's given up no unearned runs either. No unearned runs. So the team plays better around him as well. And what is this? Fielding independent of pitching, 2.1 on the season. 2.1 on the season. I think that's all I'll give you guys. But either way, this man is it's great. He's just doing so much more than
God's work.
Dallas Keuchel, the guy we're paying $94 million over 3 years, whatever.
Who we'll probably talk about next week, should be gone fairly soon when Lance Lynn comes back.
Yeah, Vince Velasquez has also been tough out there now too.
That's true.
But even Davis Martin, if you watched Davis Martin at all last week, he pitched against the Royals. He had an awesome game. I think he ended up getting the loss, if I'm not mistaken, because I think they lost like 1-0 or 2-1 or something. And he just did not deserve that at all.
Right.
He pitched spectacularly, and the Sox just couldn't help him in that game. So I'd rather see a young guy come up, struggle a little, kind of work through some stuff, and watch Keuchel just get hit around the yard.
We saw Cease do it. I'm not going to say he's going to be Cease, but we saw Cease do it. And look what he is now.
So that's my topic, Jason. We finish up here. So go ahead and do yours. I didn't mean to take too much time.
You're fine. Kind of just as it relates to Grandal and what he said in his post-game interview, I'm not going to go over the whole thing because I'm sure most of us have seen it, if not all of us. But I will no longer ever say a bad thing about Yasmani Grandal. I mean, he stood up for TA. Didn't back down from anything. And I think we're able to see his presence and the respect that he has in that locker room just from how he handled himself in that interview and how he chose his words and things like that. I mean, I also really respect what he did, where he just let Josh Donaldson know when he walked up to the plate that what he said was wrong, and he did not back down at all. Who, by the way, he still doesn't think he's wrong, Donaldson, but that's a whole nother story. I don't want to rant again, and we turn into an even longer podcast. So,
yeah. So That's a great point. Yasmani Grandal, true leader out there, and I'm very happy with just kind of overall with Grandal stuff. I'm very happy with how actually TLR is handling playing Reese McGuire a ton behind the plate to make sure that Grandal is, and he's still in the line, but he DHs him and just make sure that he is around this team in the game for as long as he can be during this season. He's getting older. It is what it is. And it's just, it can be tough.
Right. I pointed out on Twitter that one day he was playing first base. Some of those stretches, man, he did them, but those old man knees were getting him. Him dirty. But.
I believe it. And then my last topic, and then we'll get out of here. I'll end up retweeting it here. You can see it on my Twitter account, which you can see below here. So who was it? It was Joe Kelly was on the Parkins and Spiegel show. And they asked him about what he said to Aaron Hicks after he picked him off a second. If you guys remember that play when Aaron Hicks.
That was amazing.
Just 17 steps off. He might as well, he should have just ran to third. He was way closer to third.
He would have had better luck doing that.
He was saying how Hicks has clearly been struggling. And you can kind of just tell he's trying to earn back, just some goodwill with the fans. And then obviously, I think Josh Harrison tells him to throw over. He's like, hey, throw it over. He's way off. Turns around, throws over, gets him by a mile.
Yeah.
And Joe basically says he was so surprised, at how far off he was. And then he just started giving him the business. He's like, oh yeah, you're such a stud, Aaron Hicks. You're so awesome. Nice job, man. You're the man. And just going in on him. And
that's amazing.
I love Joe Kelly.
I want to watch that.
I love Joe Kelly with my entire heart. And soul and being for everything he's done pre-White Sox, just hating the Yankees, hating the Astros. He is the savior that the Chicago White Sox need. And he's been doing better, which is the important part. He struggled at the game Jason and I were at. I think it was his first appearance, maybe his second appearance, but he's been doing better now. And the boys are buzzing, that's for sure. The warm weather is here. Actually, it was pretty cold today, but it'll be back for Memorial Day weekend when the Chicago White Sox play the Chicago Cubs down on the south side. Only 2 games. You can watch our last episode. Why it should be more, but that's okay. Good guys wear black. Jason, any final comments before we close out?
That is it. We're going to the game Saturday.
Yep, and we're gonna be drinking gas and brews in the parking lot. We're gonna find I wish I could shout her out off the top of my head.
Southside Behavior.
We're gonna try to link up with her, do some drinking related content in the parking lot for some pregame stuff. So see if you can find us out there. And with that, that'll do it for this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita. Thank you again to White Sox expert Jason Frank for joining me again today. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And until next time, Southsiders, see ya.